Is yours, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Yak Shamla, welcome to our symposium. The Soviet Union collapsed about 20 years ago and split a unified health system, medical care, including mental health. Before psychiatrists newly formed states, one question: which way to go, what new model of care to choose, how to overcome the stigma, and how to use the latest method of prevention and the treatment of mental illness. All these years the country accumulated experience, positive and negative, and how is the time to compare it with the experience of their colleagues and neighbors, to share the results, analyze what has been achieved and what could be done. To this end, together with the President of the National Psychiatric Societies of the former Soviet Union, we conduct a series of symposia and conferences of psychiatrists in these countries, and not only a narrow circle, and taking into account our problem on the discussion of representatives of the world psychiatry, the structure of the services, training issues, stigma, research, prevention and treatment of mental illness. Today's symposia is one of the series, and we are very grateful to our Turkish colleagues for the opportunity to spend it on this hospital land. 25 years ago, we did not have significant experience in combating drug abuse. The Soviet Union was quite a closed country. Now, unfortunately, there is something to discuss. There are other important new issues for us: the effect of post-traumatic stress disorders, mental manifestation of AIDS, gambling, etc. Increasingly, in our fields of psychologists, neurologists rope in our epilepsy and Alzheimer's disease. We replace gradually comes a new generation of young psychiatrists. They are armed with the latest technology. They know foreign languages better than we. And it's easy to establish professional contact with their peers from the other countries. Carry out joint research is a new phenomenon in recent years in the former Soviet space. And today we present to your court those issues that affect the representative of the participating country of this symposium. Professor Altinbekov talked about the changes of mental health services in Kazakhstan. Professor Khodjayeva from Uzbekistan shared the experience of the effect of treatment of heroin addiction. Professor Galakov from Kyrgyzstan talked about the irrational use of psychotropic drugs. And finally, Dr. Gelishvili will try to answer the question of whether the drug companies to promote health care reform in Georgia. And Dr. Smirnova from Russia, president of the Young Psychiatrists Council of Asia, will talk about the issue that concerns the new generation of professionals starting their academic careers. And a couple of other notes which I would like to present to you. I will show you simply something which is probably unusual for such symposia. I just remind you, where is this country, especially from Central Asia, I'm talking Islamic country, because you know everything about Russia, because half of the Russia spend the season in Turkey, and Georgia, you know also everything, because the election of the president, they're full of information in the newspaper. But we have today 3 countries who made their independent steps in the international psychiatry: Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan. And may I remind you some figures about this country, general information about gross domestic product, population growth rate, life expectancy. It's very high in all 3 countries, so around 78, 90 years. This is about Kazakhstan, and this is Uzbekistan. Please note that Uzbekistan is about 30 million population, and Kazakhstan is a very large, there are big surface of this country, as you remember the map. And Kyrgyzstan is the smallest, but country with their own problem, and as you know, last year was a lot of tribulation, social turbulation, and conflicts. So I would like, unfortunately, mix the slides, but it is just 2 words about one of the founders of psychiatry in the Middle Asia. It's Abu Ali ibn Sina, known as Avicena. He produced a multi-volume canon of medicine with detailed description of many mental illnesses about 1,000 years ago. And he was born near Bukhara, near Uzbekistan. It's his tomb in contemporary Iran. And this is Arabic translation of 16th century of his multi-volume with a description which it's mentioned here. I will read it. But just to remind you that part of the modern psychiatry was born in this part of the world. And this about legislation, just to simply give you the idea that the legislation in the field of mental health. In Kazakhstan, there are a number of degrees and number of law which produced in the recent years in this independent country. This is a main indicator of mental health, which I tried to summarize in one slide for you. It's incidence of mental illness, prevalence. This is a number of psychiatric beds, number of psychiatrists and the departments of psychiatry who deal with education. Of course, more details will be provided by Professor Altenbekov. This is a law which used by the Kyrgyz government in their work with in the field of mental health. This is a main indicator of this republic. Again, incidence, prevalence, and so on. The same indicator, just to give you a short overview what is going on from the figure point of view in Kyrgyz Republic. And this is data from Uzbekistan. As you know, these 2 documents just been approved in the recent years, and one of them is quite important because it's a practical implication. $3.4 million has been put into reconstruction and rebuilding of psychiatric hospital and other services. And this is again some data about Uzbekistan. Again, incidence, prevalence, number of beds, number of psychiatrists, and so on. One more point in the end. Since last 3 years, the president of Zone 10 countries of the former Soviet Union, president of National Society of Psychiatrists, meeting regularly, and we have a lot of interesting things to do in common, especially to exchange our views what is going on in the country of the split of the Soviet Union. And in the last meeting in Alma-Ata this June, we are decided to propose to organize the first Congress of psychiatrists in the Middle Asian country. And I'm happy to announce that in Vienna Congress, which I'm come just a few days ago, it's finished yesterday, it was decided that such a meeting will be in the city of Astana, in the capital of Kazakhstan, in May 2015. This is a Palace of Independence, place of our future meeting. I'm happy to show you, and just to make it's about a very modern city. I remind you, Dubai or Shanghai, completely reconstructed, rebuilt, absolutely a new city, and I think it'll be important that Middle Asia will wait for new push to develop their mental health and their psychiatry. This is another nice picture of this place, so that please I stop on this point. I give the floor to the first speaker. Thank you.